Welcome to Covers His Puck Props with 14-year NHL vet Carlo Colaiacovo. We finally get a good slate. We saw a three-game
Finally.
slate Wednesday. We saw a two-game slate yesterday where the Dogs just absolutely crushed. Probably could have got San Jose minus one and a half. San Jose minus 1.5. I was eyeing their team total flat 2 at decent money, but the things got loose in that game. Even Columbus ran up the score on there. We'll mention Ottawa right out of the gates. All odds coming via Sports Interaction. Let's go Seattle, Ottawa over 6.5 minus 110. Bud, Ottawa's on the back-to-back. Neither team has anything between the pipes. The 4th and 7th worst 5-on-5 save percentage since the beginning of November. Number 30th and 25 PK. It's ugly. Ottawa's in the dumps. They haven't won since leaving Sweden. And they could be getting their coach canned with this play. How does that change a team's play on the ice? They can't just magically get better.
No, it's tough to imagine that they'll magically get better, but clearly you're going to be watching an even tighter or a group of players play even tighter. I mean, if things haven't been tight to a point up until now because they're hearing a lot of the outside noise regarding their team and maybe their coach and the future of their coach. Now you're just trying not to make a mistake because you don't want it to end up in the back of your net or and you want it to end up being a pivotal point in the game. And Ottawa's they're reeling, man. It's sad to see for a group that talented, but they just can't find anything to go right for them right now. You know, it starts in net. They haven't been getting any stable goaltending. I know you thought the return of Shabbat yesterday would have been a boost to their lineup, but it clearly wasn't. And they're finding more ways to beat themselves and actually win hockey games. And that's the concern in this game, where yesterday was kind of the winnable game in their schedule when you looked at this back-to-back. Because, you know, Seattle, I know they're having a really, really tough season so far, but, you know, they're still capable of you know, scrapping away a win. And, you know, they're a team right now that's very vulnerable. And I think both teams right now, you look at this matchup, are very vulnerable. You got both teams with very questionable goaltending, both teams that are very loose, play loose defensively, and both teams that can score. So that's why I kind of like the over in this one.
Little note on old Thomas Chabot, who returns to the lineup after a fractured hand, misses 10 games. Cool 26 minutes and 40 seconds. The guy's an absolute horse. It's insane. He did cross his 2.5 shots on goal, but we're seeing a really big change. Like yesterday, the Columbus game, massive advantage for shots on goal. We saw guys like Norris. I think we had him over 2.5 plus 105. Today, that number's moved to plus 125. And he had 7 shots last night.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's just how they're pricing the matchup. Seattle's like a top 5 team shots against, which is why their goaltending is still a giant question mark. They actually keep shots off the board. But, I mean, I think, what am I looking at? Ottawa put up, a 43-pack last night in shots?
I think more than that. I think they're San Jose, or no, that was the San Jose game.
The Devils put up 47,
yeah.
Senators, 43 shots. Devils, 47. Both lose by more than a goal. Go figure. Let's go.
One more thing. The betting trend in this game is that the over is hit in 3 of their last 4 matchups within this group. And the Seattle Kraken have gone over the total in 7 straight road games. So juicy over on this one.
And they showed in that Toronto game that they can come back down goals late in the game to bring things back. So let's move on to the Islanders, Florida, where maybe the Panthers are becoming the new Islanders. That's my hot take. Let's go under 6 at even money. This did open at 6.5 and it's moved. I don't know. I think the buy point might be minus 105, but I wouldn't go any further than that. Florida's on a 7-1 under rip over their last 8 games. They're number 2 goals against average over that stretch, 1.75, and also scoring just 2.50 goals per game. So that 4.25 total goals per game, lowest mark in the league over the last 2 weeks. The Islanders are scoring of late, but they've also faced teams like the Canes, Devils, Sens, and Seattle who can give it up. Have the Panthers found an identity here, Carlo, where they can win? Are they like their defense is healthier? Bennett is back to 100%. Can this team continue to play playoff style hockey during the regular season, especially with Bob stepping up?
Oh, can they ever?
Oh,
And
he
man,
likes it.
are they doing it in such an unbelievable way? If you heard, there was a comment that Matthew Tkachuk made sometime this week where he talked about his team, and he said the feeling we have on our team right now is that we feel like we're a team that can play any way you want, that can win at this time of year in April, May, and June, is what he said too, right? So clearly they've bought into playing the style of play that helped them have success in the playoffs last year, which was get incredible goaltending, play good enough defensively, and score timely goals. Well, they're doing that as well this year, but they're also doing it with a full group of healthy defense right now. Bobrovsky continuing his playoff form, and they're just very methodical in the way that they play. You want to play physical, they'll play physical. You want to play, patient, they can play patient. You want to play methodical in the way that you play. I think what they've done is they basically adopt this identity where they're just going to be patient in the game, wear you down, and capitalize on your mistakes. And when you got a team like the Islanders that kind of play the same way where they don't really want to give up much, it's hard to imagine that there's going to be more than 6 goals scored in this game.
No, if you've watched the Florida games, yeah, you've certainly been seeing some low.
And I did the Florida game the other night against Montreal. Like Bobrovsky was almost 2 full games without giving up a goal. They gave up a late one late in the third period, but he's in the zone right now. He's absolutely in the zone.
Seen the puck well, I guess, is the term that we could throw out there. But Keegan in the chat says he likes that over as well in that early game, or at that Ottawa game. Sends offense capable of scoring in a hurry. Yep, the offense looks good. That's not the issue, and they're both.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but they'll certainly have a push there. Then we get to a game, St. Louis, Arizona. We're all sick over here. Jake Neighbors, everybody. Jake Neighbors is playing on the top line. Very hot. It's unsustainable, but it's hot. He's playing on the top line with Bob Thomas, Buchnevich, PP1, 8 points over his last 7 games, and 7 goals. We're riding him for a point tonight, plus 115. It's a silly number for a guy playing in that top role, and there's a lot that's not priced in here. This is a guy that was playing. He's gone from 10 minutes for most of the season as like a bottom 6 guy. Now he jumps up into a massive role, and he's playing 20 minutes a game over this stretch. They're really leaning on him. Arizona's still a bottom 10 team in expected goals per 60. And St. Louis, if you've seen them lately, top 5 team in scoring since the beginning of November. What do you like about points in this game?
I like a lot about points in this game because you've got an Arizona team that's playing some really good hockey. Who are the teams you said that they've beat so far? Vegas, Dallas, and who's the other one?
Oh, just Colorado.
Oh, just Colorado. Yeah, that's right. So 3 impressive wins against 3 powerhouse teams. They've clearly showed that they can score with the best of them. But what they're also not getting when Karel Vejmelka plays is saves. Like, surprisingly, Vejmelka has given up a ton of goals in his last couple of games that he's played. You got a St. Louis team that can score in bunches, but they can also give up goals in bunches. I mean, they helped Minnesota, get out of their 7-game losing streak, and with the new coach bump there. But you talk about Jake Neighbors. Jake Neighbors is a great example of a coach rewarding a player for great play. Guy that started down the lineup, that has consistently put the work in to get better every game, and the work that he's put in has been very, very impressive because the production that he's adding has been something that St. Louis has been searching for him and just somebody in their lineup to do it consistently. And man, has he ever done it consistently? So I think you're getting, it's hard to believe that the books haven't adjusted to this and still offering him plus money just to record a point, because in a game that's being played in Arizona, everybody knows about that small barn there. I just feel like all those games that play there always have the extra scoring chances and maybe inflated goals in those games. And it just puts Jake Neighbors in a really good opportunity to stay hot, not just because he's playing a lot, but because he's playing on a power play.
And if you don't know anything about Rob Thomas, he is a very, very good setup man. I'm amazed that he's not playing with Jordan Kyrou right now. they've actually split the two up at 5-on-5. But Bob Thomas is just a guy who can get you the puck. And Jake Neighbors only has 14 shots over those 7 goals. But
wow,
it says something about who's
good expected goals rate.
Yeah, but someone's giving them the puck in great opportunities, and that's what's happened with Neighbors. So plus money for a point there. That's a given. Now we're getting silly, but it's not silly. Sometimes value looks like the ugliest thing, and if you're a Toronto fan, you might want to turn your head. But I mean, opportunity outweighs everything. And right now, Alex Kerfoot is getting opportunities in a game that we like goals. We're taking Alex Kerfoot for an assist at plus 225 for a half unit.
Wow.
And then, wow, not done. Alex Kerfoot for a power play point plus 475 for a half unit.
Wow.
That number is beefy. He's center in the second line. Okay. He is PP1. He's the center on PP1. He had the helper last game versus Colorado in the win, played 20 minutes. He had 5 shots on goal. We were joking before we got on air. When you beat Colorado 4-3, you don't change a thing.
No.
So the lineup will be exactly the same. Minutes hopefully distributed the exact same way. He's got 5 assists in his last 5 games. His minutes are up 16 average on the season. He's playing 18-35 over the last 5 games. So you talk about someone rewarding someone. Alex Kerfoot does this. Like, he shows flashes of hustle. He's just not a guy who can sustain decent 60-point pace throughout a season, but he does have flashes.
Well, you talk about sustainability is always something that you can achieve based on opportunity that you're getting, right? And if this guy's continuing to play elevated into the lineup, it can be sustainable. Look, Arizona's got the 6th ranked power play in the NHL, playing against the 15th ranked St. Louis power play. And the way Arizona's been scoring goals lately, man, every day you try to find something in the markets that pops out at you to give you, 4 times your money or 5 times your money when you bet it. I think you found it on this one. I really do, because you talk about you're not hitting a player that is just coming out of the blue and hoping to have a breakout game. This is a guy that's feeling it and in the groove right now on a team that is feeling the same way too right now. So I'd jump on this. I'm definitely going to jump on this because I think there's just too much good value here to pass up for a guy that's playing way above his expectation right now.
Yeah, the injury to Barrett Hayton has really moved everything. Logan Cooley centering the first line, and that's why we find Kerfoot there. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the motto here. So some big plus money plays.
Love it.
Alex Kerfoot. Let's go. And now we obviously have to touch on this Boston game. Boston, Toronto. You mentioned it, the first game when Mitchie moved to the second line. You were on Tavares over 3.5 shots on goal. And I still think the books are pricing Boston as a team that's absolutely elite shutdown. And this year, they aren't as much. They are a bottom 5 team in shots allowed since November 1st. And here I am hitting Tavares at over 3.5 shots on goal at plus 120. That is a big number considering. I just think the Boston effect is too much on this. This should be kind of even money as it has been for the previous couple games here. Mitchie's not a shooter, obviously coming off that hat trick. It's a good story and everything, but here's a situation. We could see some more power plays. We could see the best game script I could see in this game. Would be an easy over. Toronto trailing and the bench gets short. And it's almost every time you see that, you see big shots from Willie, big shots from Tavares here. I mean, he's had fewer than 3 shots on goal and just 6 of 21. So his floor's solid, 50% hit rate. What do you like about Marner on the second line here with JT?
Well, there's a lot to like about, Marner on the second line. I think this is the advantage that Toronto has always had with those 4 top forwards is when you're looking for a spark to get somebody else going, you can easily interchange those guys. And yeah, I know, people are saying, well, what about Matthews? He hasn't scored yet. And Nylander hasn't scored since that switch either. But it's not through lack of trying or lack of effort because those guys are still getting those prime scoring chances. The puck's just not going in. And for Marner, to have the game that he did yesterday was pretty amazing to watch considering he was wearing the bubble all game, which I'm not a big fan of. I had to play with it at some point in my career, and I just drove me nuts. And you really don't feel like yourself. But credit to him. And is that something that we can expect out of Marner to do on a game-to-game basis? No, I think what you could expect is him continuing to be the general that he is when he gets the puck, and that's being the facilitator, the playmaker, the guy that helps find guys in the scoring areas. And Tavares is example number one of that. The guy was built to score, was built to be a shooter. And I think tonight, too, there might be a little bit of extra incentive considering the last time these two guys played, there was a lot of criticism about the Leafs being soft and some of the Marchand shenanigans that went on in that game with the Logan injury. There might be a little bit of extra motivation from these Toronto top players to get things going into their favor tonight.
You still got the fishbowl?
No,
oh, okay.
I do not.
But if you had one, it would be the best time to sell. The market is high.
No kidding!
If you had a vintage fishbowl right now, someone would be just snapping it up.
It was probably the hottest selling item on Friday morning in every sporting store.
Everybody knew the term fishbowl. I was surprised you called it a bubble. All right, but let's go there. Tavares over 3.5 shots on goal. And what I like about this too, the hat trick gives Mitchie some confidence. We've seen him play without confidence. You can see it in his skating. You can see it in his hands. The confidence wasn't there. Hopefully we can enter the zone Mitch tonight. That's we haven't seen zone entry Mitch pretty much all season. So hopefully we can see something like that. Over 3.5 shots on goal for JT. Big game here. And while we're here, let's throw another half unit on the tie. I mean, it's there. It's a 6-goal total, projected to be a lower scoring game. Toronto's had a tie in 4 of its last 5, 6 of its last 10, played in 1-goal games in 7 of their last 8. 10 of 21 of their games this year have gone to OT, including both of the head-to-head meetings, the last 2.
Yeah.
And they've done it both ways, Coco. They've done it where they can crawl back into games. They have that offense that they can erase a 2-goal deficit late. But they've also shown that they can give up and blow a 2-goal deficit late in thirds, like the Seattle game. And
the Chicago game.
Yeah, explain how this team cannot close games out.
I wish I could. I mean, this has been the mystery that trying to solve this Maple Leafs team as to why they can't win in regulation. And there's probably a couple reasons that you could justify to why. I mean, clearly their defense isn't strong enough to protect leads, and obviously there's an inconsistency in their games that when they are trailing and they do lean on the top guys, they can get you back into the game. But it also goes to show too, I think one of the players, Jake McCabe, said it best. It's a hard league to win in. And because of the parity around the league, you're going to find competitive games night after night. And I think, people complain only 5 regulation wins for the Maple Leafs, but they have 12 wins on the season. And you still got to find a way to win those extra games. And when you get into the playoffs, there's going to be tight checking games. You want to be that team that finds the way to win more of those games because you've gone to overtime and found a way to win, or lose those games. So at this point here, whatever gets them the result that they want, and clearly they're making it a little bit more difficult themselves, but it's a very trendy pick because they do find themselves in these very low, tight checking tie games late in games. So why not continue to ride it while at least it's presenting the value that it is, plus 300?
Yeah, but it's a pretty standard price for the ties. But if there's a team that's cashing in on the ties right now, returning a profit, it's the Leafs here. And another Saturday night, I believe, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Their last 6 Saturday night games have gone to overtime. So
there you go.
I mean, it's the bright lights of Saturday night causing 2-2 games. Yeah.
Who doesn't want to watch extra hockey anyways?
yeah. But if you got scores, regulation scores, I wouldn't be surprised if this one finishes.
So we're chasing some big plus money today. I love it.
Yeah. Come on, Kerfoot.
Let's go, baby.
Kerfoot. All right, let's do a quick recap here and get everybody on their way here for Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the questions there, Keegan. Over 6.5, Seattle, Ottawa, minus 110. Then we jump over to the Islanders, Panthers, and continue to ride that playoff team under 6 even money. Then we got 3 plays here. St. Louis, Arizona game. Jake Neighbors, top line, PP1 for a point. Guy's got 7 goals in his last 7 games. We're going plus 115 there. Kerfoot, With Hayton out, he stepped into a big role, 16 minutes to now 18 and a half minutes. That's a big bump. PP1 center. Let's go. Over assist, plus 225, half unit. PP point, plus 475, half unit. Let's just get a PP helper right out of the gates and cash both of those.
You can cash both of those at the same time, right? That's the beauty about these.
That is the beauty of it. And then we jump over to a couple plays of Boston. Tavares over 3.5 shots on goal, plus 120. Have that closer to even money play there. And then the tie, little half unit on Boston, Toronto tie. Let's hope that runs up a Saturday. We can turn that into some Sunday fun day money. Never a bad thing, but appreciate it as always. I'm Josh Ingles, the man to my right, Carlo Colaiacovo. Appreciate it as always. This is Covers His Puck Props, brought to you by Sports Interactions. Lead us out, bud.
Have a great Saturday and an even better weekend. Ciao.